What does Liberland as a new startup state do on the economic front? I will first begin with a theoretical outline. This gentleman here is Dr. Robert Nozick, who is perhaps the biggest inspiration for how our government works. And he popularized and he brought it into the academic view the concept of a minimal state or night watchman state. His idea was that, and I'm paraphrasing and simplifying here, that the country, in order for it to be truly good, it needs to satisfy its citizens, but citizens have contradictory wishes and needs. One citizen may wish to be in an ideal state, to be helped by the government, let's say, but other citizens who have enough, who make enough by their economic activity, they don't wish to contribute to that government. So here we have a contradiction, and there are many other such contradictions. And so Dr. Nozick, through a very interesting line of logic, extrapolated that the basic things on which most people can agree are the basic functions of security and law enforcement. And then he spends many chapters of that book illustrating why a centralized law enforcement may be necessary compared to a decentralized one, which can be controversial here. But we are a monarchic state at the end of the day, not an anarcho-capitalistic state. So we go with him and say that and act out the idea that our country is the public protector of private property, which means that we are here to protect that private property which its owner wishes to protect, or the state assumes he wishes to protect it from his behavior, let's say, and from what is commonly done in civilized society, but which he cannot protect or cannot protect at this time. This translates into the focus of our constitution, which you know from our chapter 1, that the basic functions are private property, right to life, and personal liberty, as long as you do not infringe upon the property of others, life of others, and so on. So in this way, from property rights, we get human rights and human dignity. So we go one step deeper. For most constitutions, this is where they begin, right? Like they begin with human rights. But we derive those in a very Robert Nozick way from first principles, or prior principles at least. And of course, the idea is to have a minimal intervention in citizens' lives. But then the idea is also to create a libertarian economy. And so we are active as a country in enabling certain activities to happen, because the white canvas is a difficult place to be, or a difficult place to start. And it's usually the case that somebody needs to write the first few sentences on that canvas, or paint the first few lines, and then the others will join in. And this is the idea with which we work in Liberland, right? We do not wish to infringe upon the free market. We can't. Our constitution doesn't allow it. The articles of provisional government forbid it, indirectly, but forcefully. But we wish for the activity in practice to take place. So what activities do we have? And this is the rest of my presentation is about these activities. So we begin with the blockchain economy. And this typifies the approach of drawing on the blank canvas. We have sponsored a public blockchain. That blockchain is open source. It is in the hands of token holders. We're not claiming any ownership towards it as Liberland. So the blockchain is not just a political tool, although it is that. It is also a public blockchain with smart contract capabilities, which allows activities to take place. The first and the already happening activity is actually the second one on the presentation. That's to become a validator. If you're a citizen, you can become a validator. That means that you download the ledger on your computer or a server which you dedicate to this. It's quite cheap and easy. And you then create new blocks, so you write into the ledger. Actually, it's not you, it's more that node, that program which you download does this. And so you help to keep our government running and our blockchain system secure. Feel free to collaborate with us. But further than that, we need to create a vibrant and living environment. So if any of you have experience with blockchains, have blockchain projects, run those projects, tokens, coins, decentralized exchanges, feel free to contact us. This blockchain is a new environment where you will be amongst the first adopters, the first comers. And such people have a natural advantage in any free market system. As we saw from Robert Nozick, we're of course far from diminishing that advantage. So you can capitalize on it. And you can help us in this way, help yourself, that's point one, but also to ignite the blockchain's potential and to turn it into a vibrant community, or help us turn it into a vibrant community, and then make it live its own life. This also typifies the idea that all the activities you're going to hear about have as an end point, an end goal, that they should run their own life economically. They should become more and more market based as the time goes. That's our measure of success, that we can truly take the hands off. And as I wrote in the first slide, laissez-faire, right? It means let it flow. So that's what we want. And you are cordially invited to float on it. We wish to organize settlement safely, legally, without interference from any organs of the police of Croatia, which may have strange ideas about us. We wish to organize this settlement from the river on our houseboats, or on any houseboats, but we can help you get a houseboat. This is an illustration picture, but it's going to look something like this, probably a bit nicer. And the idea is to create a seasonal or a year-round living opportunity for expats to live on the Danube in a houseboat, close to civilization, close to Apatin, close to Batina, close to other towns, Mohacs. You have the freedom to travel that beautiful place. You will breathe the air of Gornje Podunavlje, which is the name of the nature preserve that's close to Liberland. It is fully supported by Liberland government, this settlement. It will be run by the laws of Liberland. We hope to make this either the first or one of the first communities truly governed by Liberland law, because, you know, a community lives only if people physically use it to satisfy their needs by its means, you know. Otherwise, it's just a theory. And all of this seeks to turn that theory into practice, which brings us to the Liberland Settlement. This is mostly citizen only right now, although if you're resident and you really are serious about this, feel free to ask us after the presentation or later. This is a high risk, high reward proposition because the settlement is at this moment contested, although we have managed to keep it for a month. That's a lot. There are no more people arrested on site. So the idea would be that you could apply for your part of Liberland as a citizen, and then you could help us gain a stable access to this using our efforts. Of course, this requires people to have some means and strategy and kind of business acumen. This is a business proposition as well as settlement, as well as nation building. And it's not going to be simple or straightforward, but it's going to be fun and interesting and potentially very rewarding. And you can become one of Liberland's true founding fathers in the land. It's of course rough and difficult in the beginning with respect to the conditions, but you will be the first movers, and that will mean something a lot to a lot of people. For those who wish to enter the dry land of Liberland but do not wish to take the previous opportunity, we already have an Ecovillage settlement opportunity called the Liberland Ark Village. It's very close to Liberland, some 5 kilometers. It is on the Serbian side. And you can right now rent a cottage, but you can also apply for a place to build something else, like another glamping opportunity or a house or something where you could then live or where you could then be economically active. This is Serbia. This is not Liberland. We're not pretending it is Liberland. It will still live the Liberland jurisdiction as much as possible. Of course, you have to pay taxes to Serbia. You have to follow Serbian laws. But Serbia is outside of the EU, and it is quite welcoming for people who wish to be economically active in it. The weather is as beautiful as in Liberland. And you will have annual events, activities like the Floating Man Camp or the anniversary or other activities which you can see at the visit.liberland.lo.land pages. And of course, if you want to host your event here, and it's Liberty themed or something to do with blockchain, Liberland, and so on, feel free to tell us. And we'll be happy to put you in contact with the people who run the ARC near Vanya's team. Going more online from the real world options, we have the Liberland market. That's the online marketplace for Liberlanders, where you can offer your products, your services, your firm can make its online home there in our growing community. This is not a chaotic enterprise. It is a vetted and reputable place where we wish for wholesome activities to take place. That's why only Liberlanders, residents and citizens are allowed to sell there. So in this way, you can get the name of your company out in the Liberland environment. And of course, you will be helping the economic growth of Liberland by taking your part in the Liberland market. Close to the Liberland market, very close in purpose, is the Liberland app. I don't know if you've heard about it, but Liberland has an app. You can download it at present at the Google Play, soon from the App Store as well. So now it's Android only, but soon it will be also for Macs. This app allows you to transmit your location and chat with other Liberlanders, access the forum, but the main point of this app is to provide goods and services, just like in the marketplace. It is an Uber for everything. That's the conception, and it is quite ambitious. It's not just for car sharing, it's for anything sharing. It's for people who want to offer professional services, goods, and who want to help us again to build this community and in this way help yourself build your business. So there's the app. Please feel free to download it. Liberland will have a seastead. It does not replace the main country. That's our laser focus, to gain full access, to settle that from the river, from the land, from anywhere we can. But it will complement it, because not everybody wants to live between Croatia and Serbia. Not everybody can. Some people believe that seasteading is future, and it is a worthy endeavor. And there are many people trying to create seastead. So what's a seastead? Seastead is a living place on the ocean, using modern technology. All life's comforts, at least in the major state of the project, will be there. But you'll be living on the sea, which has the freedom of the sea as your greatest ally. Of course, that means the seastead must be outside of all countries' jurisdictions. Fortunately, our seasteading project is exactly that. Our partner, Iceland, has already placed a barge at an undisclosed location, and the barge lives and has been stable for several months as of now. Survived the winter, it's in the northern hemisphere, and will soon be accompanied by other barges where also your cabin can be. And we wish to attract the global attention to Liberland and to the idea of building a liberty-oriented community. These barges will be run by the Liberland law, as if they were the core territory of Liberland. So it's not just a, as we call it, diaspora village. This will be a full extension of the territory of Liberland. So this is our seastead, and this concludes our short highlights of the practical ways how you can economically interact with Liberland right now. Thank you for your attention.